Vicky nervously sipped her coffee. She had received a message on Facebook from a man who said he had information about her husband, Michael, that he was having an affair with his wife. Normally, Vicky wouldn't have paid much attention to the words of a stranger. She had no doubt that Michael was faithful to her. They were happy and had 3 children. She had come here just to tell this guy what she thought, and he was already 20 minutes late. He wrote that Michael had been acting strangely in recent months. Although their sex life hadn't changed, it wasn't spectacular, but it was good. He seemed less enthusiastic, worked late, and had been going out to business dinners more often lately. In addition, the message was accompanied by evidence, text messages between Michael and someone named Amber. As bad as it was, there was a guy across the cafe staring at her. Her nerves didn't calm down when she saw him approaching her table with an A4 envelope. "Excuse me, are you Vicky Masterson?" he asked politely. Vicky looked at him. He was quite young, much younger than her, fashionably dressed, and had the attractive appearance of a young man, not someone who would normally approach a middle-aged woman, mother of 3 children. "Yes," Vicky replied cautiously. "I'm Zach Gallagher. I sent you a message about your husband on Facebook." "In a private message?" "Yes, I sent you a message on Tuesday." Zach now looked a little uncertain. "May I sit down?" Vicky waved indifferently at the chair opposite her, inviting him to sit down. "What is this about, Mr. Gallagher? I will not tolerate unfounded accusations of infidelity against my husband," she said sharply. "Please call me Zach. Believe me, I wouldn't have contacted you if I didn't have proof, and I don't enjoy telling you about it. I just thought you should know what your husband has been doing with my wife, Amber." Vicky stared at Zach. Despite his attractive appearance, he was pale and looked like he hadn't slept well. His eyes were sad. Vicky felt uneasy and began to think that he might be telling the truth. "You say you have proof," Vicky said indifferently. "Yes," Zach said, and pulled several sheets of paper out of the envelope. "Here are some text messages between your husband and Amber." Vicky took the papers and took her glasses out of her purse to read them. The messages were very explicit, and her nausea turned into retching. They looked genuine. "This could be fake," Vicky said, waving her hand at Zach and handing him back the papers. Zach looked disappointed, but he reached into the envelope again, took out several photos, and handed them to Vicky. This time, Vicky turned pale and covered her mouth with her hand in shock. The photos showed her husband embracing a much younger woman who looked very much like Zach. In the last photos, they were kissing and heading toward a hotel. The time and date on the photos matched the date Michael was supposed to be at a business dinner with a client. "That's not all," Zach said grimly. The next photos were taken on another day when Michael was supposed to be at another business dinner, and they showed them entering the same hotel. Zach handed Vicky a few more photos. Vicky took a napkin and began to wipe her eyes as tears began to flow. "How long have you known?" Vicky asked Zach. "About a month. Amber doesn't know that I know yet. I'm filing for divorce today. I didn't say anything before because I was gathering evidence. I asked for advice on Reddit, and everyone said I should contact you. My divorce lawyer agreed and said you should call him." Zach reached for the envelope again, took out a business card, and handed it to Vicky. "He said that if he represents both of us, he can get a better divorce settlement for both of us, but maybe he's just advertising his services." Zach smiled slightly, earning a stern look from Vicky, but she smiled back. "How long have you been married, Zach?" Vicky asked sympathetically. 2 years, but we were together for about 8 years. "Only 2? I'm so sorry, Zach. You had your whole life ahead of you." Zach wiped away a tear. "And you, Mrs. Masterson?" "Call me Vicky. I feel like we're connected now," she said, gently placing her hand on Zach's. "We've been married for 23 years, and we have 3 children, too." "I think that's even worse. At least we don't have children," said Zach sadly. "But you wanted children with Amber?" Zach nodded sadly. Can I keep these? Asked Vicky, showing Zach the photos and text messages. Of course, I have digital copies if you want. I can email them to you, and my lawyer has copies too. Yes, please. I would also really like to stay in touch with you. To talk. I think we could help each other get through this. I'd love to, Vicky, Zach replied, writing his number and email address on the back of his business card. It was really nice meeting you, Zach said as he stood up to leave. I'll be waiting to hear from you. Vicky sat alone, tears streaming down her face, overcome with conflicting emotions: sadness, anger, regret, guilt. She didn't understand why she felt guilty. 23 years of marriage, and Michael had treated her like that, the bastard. He told her he only wanted sons, and she gave him 3. When she told him she wanted a 4th child, a daughter, he refused, and now he was cheating on her with a woman at least 15 years younger than him. Vicky took the business card and sent Zach a message with her phone number, then wrote him an email asking him to send her copies of the text messages and photos. Then Vicky called Zach's lawyer. May I speak to Mr. Trenta? My name is Vicky Masterson, and his client, Zach Gallagher, has come to me with evidence of an affair between his wife and my husband. Yes, please hold. I'll transfer you. Mrs. Masterson, thank you for calling, said a friendly voice on the other end of the line. How can I help you? I would like to arrange a meeting to discuss divorce with my husband. Of course, I can schedule you for today if you can come in. That would be great. If I use your services, what can I realistically expect from the divorce? I have 3 children and a house. Well, based on the information we have, I would expect you to keep the house and your husband to continue paying the mortgage, as well as receive custody of the children, and, at a minimum, child support. I will also try to get him to pay your legal fees. It all depends on what you want to achieve. I want him to suffer. Can you do that? Mr. Trent smiled slightly. I think so.